Well, my name's Rudran Brannock, and I'm at Bruce and Eve's garden. And I've been doing some rotational compost system here for a couple of years, so I'll just take you through it. So let's start from the basics. In this empty bin, what I've done here is I'm throwing some grass clippings in here. And these are the grass clippings. Before the grass turns to seed, I mow it and I'll put it in here. It's been raining, so it's a bit soggy, but I'll let it dry right out so I get a bit of carbon into my compost. So this is just an empty bay for now, so I'm just using it for that.
What's the white stuff that's on the top of the...
That's just a bit of dolomite that I had. I layer the dolomite in because the food that we use, our food is selected for sweetness. And our carrots, beets, everything is chock-a-block full of sugar, which means it makes it very acidic for the compost. And so you need to balance that out some way. A bit of lime is always good, and ash can be good too, depending on what the ash is. But we use dolomite because it's a mixture of, it's got some magnesium in it, and we're magnesium deficient here. So I use dolomite. So I chuck that in normally on top of scraps or, on manure or something. But I just chucked a bit on there because I had a handful.
Left over. Yep. Don't waste it.
Yeah. Okay, so this one here has settled right down, like it was right up to here. And when I sealed it, I just put this on it just to give it a bit of a seal and to let people know not to chuck stuff in there.
Yep.
And so this is all fallen down. That's how far it has sunk down. And that.
So why have you got the pipes?
These pipes are for it lets a bit more air get into the compost. Air in the compost is very, very important. I'm sure everyone's had the experience when they've been in the towns and we haven't looked after one of those little black compost bins very well. And they've chucked everything into it and they end up with this anaerobic sludge sitting in the bottom. Yep. And it's not good for anything, it's just poisonous really. So that's why you need the air in it, because it keeps it nutritious, keeps the bugs going. The bugs need oxygen as well.
So instead of raking it and turning it over, you're using the pipes to do the aeration?
That's part of it.
Yep.
Another part, we do 3 ways to get air in. One is the pipes. One is we use worms.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to have a look?
Yep.
So this is our worm here.
Beautiful. There they are.
There they are. Just a bit deeper.
Yeah. You can hardly see them because they're almost the same colour as the...
Yeah,
there we are. There's one. And so
they need to be
you
fed
produce the worms here and then you take them over to there.
Yeah, and down here, under here, we've got 2 buckets here that collects the worm juice.
Yep.
We mix that 50-50 in a watering can and just pour it on straight on the garden. It's pretty good value stuff. So this is the one we'll be opening this one for the garden soon.
Yep.
This one is coming to fruition. I'll put another bit of wood here and bring it right up to the top.
Yep.
When it reaches the top, I'll take that green carpet out, put it on there, and we'll start to use that one.
That one.
So while this one's coming up, as it gets near term, we only light stuff in there, stuff that breaks down really easily.
Quickly.
Which brings us to this one down here. When this one is low, we put really bigger things, like pawpaw trees or bits of light branch wood down the bottom. And then as it builds up, we just put all this arrowroot. We grow arrowroot here, and I harvest it twice a year for the compost.
Just for the compost?
Pretty well, yeah.
Okay.
And
so the ginger leaves and the turmeric leaves and all that sort of stuff go in there as well?
All go in there, and arrowroot is just absolutely amazing. So someone called it the permaculture plant of all time, because it does so many things. I only just got a recipe for it on internet, some African recipes.
We'll grab that and share it.
Yeah. And so that's kind of like the 3 stages. So when I start coming out of there, that one fills, then all the light stuff will start going under here.
Yep.
And I'll put that gate, I have to fix that gate. I have to put that gate there, and then I'll start, all the big stuff will go into here.
Gotcha.
And I'll use that dry grass.
So you've got 4 really systems going.
I've got 4.
Yep.
So my plan is to open one every 3 months.
Yep.
But as you can see, this one's been, those 2 aren't full yet, and that's empty, so everything's slowed down for some reason, I don't know.
Yep.
I'm just going to chuck ash in here. One of the really big things about compost is to get layers.
Yep.
So you need air, so pipes with holes, worms, and also to put things in that has air. See, there's all these things. See, that's kind of a bit thick.
Yep.
So as it composts down, where they all crisscross each other, there'll be little bits of air trapped in there for quite a while.
Yep.
And so that helps. And also, if you get leaves like, dead leaves like this,
Yep.
and so they're all a bit twiggy,
Yep.
and you chuck them in, that's a bit big, and you chuck a whole lot of dead leaves in, it's a bit twiggy. As that goes down, that twiggy stuff traps air in it, so that's really good.
Yep.
So you want to, you layer, you put twiggy dead leaves in, worms, and pipes with holes in. They're the 3 major ways to
Yep.
aerate. And you can toss it too, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. This is much simpler and easier way.
This is simpler, and if you've got a garden system, you can do that.
Yeah.
If all you've got is a home garden, just a tiny garden, or if very little garden, or if you live in a house, all you've got is one of those black
Yep.
compost things, then turning it's a very good way to get the air into it. Every 2 weeks, just pull it up,
Yep.
put it down next to itself, and get a fork, chuck it in, and then a shovel, and
Yep.
chuck it back in and aerate it.
Yep.
And also, if you've just got one of those home gardens, put your lawn clippings, always cut your lawn before it seeds.
Yes.
Put your clippings next to it,
Yep.
and let them dry out.
Yep.
Because one of the really big things of compost is get the nitrogen-carbon ratio
Yes.
right.
Yep.
And most people get plenty of nitrogen, but not enough carbon. And so you let your glass clippings dry out, and then you put your household compost in. And when your glass clippings are dry, they've got plenty of air in them, right? So you
Yes.
need that. So you get your compost, get your household waste, and you might have about an inch. It starts to get a bit sludgy or whatever. So you chuck a layer of grass on top of it.
Yep.
And if you've got a fire where you burn off stuff at home, put a layer of ash on it, because great, best carbon is in ash, best.
Yep.
You see?
Yep.
So that's what you just take it out the fire. I put it.
So this bed here is not going to have food scraps in it though, is it?
It will.
Oh, it will eventually.
Yeah, when this one's full,
Yep.
all the food scraps and everything will start going into there. Well,
Gotcha.
mine do. I mean,
Yep.
Bruce and they like to give theirs to the chooks because
Chooks.
they love their chooks so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
But those chooks are so fat.
They are fat actually.
I put all my scraps into the
there.
compost, and household scraps are actually they're brilliant. They're the best.
Yeah.
As long as they aerate, they're the best. So now I'm just going to get a bit of manure. I'll just grab a shovel.